What's going on, everyone? Ryan Knows Tech here from techinform.us, and as requested many times, and as kind of a given comparison, the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 3GS. Obviously, the iPhone 4 is replacing the 3GS at this point. 3GS has been around for just over a year. Apple always updates the device in mid or to late June of whatever year it is. So here we go. Pretty big difference here. The first generation iPhone to the iPhone 3G was a pretty big difference. We saw a new case. We saw 3G data capabilities primarily. The 3G to the 3GS was not a big upgrade at all. In terms of speed, it was pretty good. They got a much better processor in it and more memory, so that was good. But now, Apple claims, and they're definitely right, the iPhone 4 versus the 3GS is a big difference. We have a new case, we have totally new internal components, new screen. It's completely different. So if you're thinking about buying an iPhone and you don't know if you want the $99 3GS or the $199 4, I would highly recommend you put the extra $100 in, get the 16 gigs of space and the much better design, performance, compatibility in the future. It's just going to be a better device for you. Now, both of them will run iOS 4 to their full extent, which is good. And in this video, we're going to do some speed comparisons and then some physical comparisons. I know you guys have probably seen this online 100 times, but I'm going to do it again just in case you haven't. This is from the top. The iPhone 4 is a little bit taller, a little bit thinner. Put them on top here. You can see it's just a hair taller, and it's definitely thinner. It's supposed to be like 25% thinner, and it definitely looks it. You hold the 3GS now, it feels fat, it feels plasticky, it feels like kind of a bubble because of that contoured design. We'll get the camera down low in a second, and you can see how much thinner the iPhone is when, or the 4 is when sitting on a flat surface. We'll go ahead and log into each device, both running iOS 4 right now, of course. And we're going to kill all the running apps and then shut down. If I can do that right. Alright, all closed on the 3GS. And they are all closed on the iPhone 4. So we're going to do a shutdown test. I'm going to hold both buttons at the same time. The processor in the iPhone 4 is made by Apple. It's the A4 chip, clocked at, we think, 1 gigahertz. And it has 512 megs of RAM, whereas the 3GS only has 256. Looks like the 3GS was much quicker to shut down there, with all applications shut. Alright, both shut down. We'll move them this way. And now we'll boot them back up, see what happens. While they boot up, I will say that the case design is really a big difference. The antennas are now in the stainless steel around here. The back of the 3GS and 3G is plastic, whereas it's the same material as the front on the iPhone 4. You now have a front-facing camera for video chat, which will not work on the iPhone 3G. And the rear-facing camera is 5 megapixels instead of 3 megapixels, and it does shoot 720p high-def video, which actually looks quite good. So it looks like the 3GS is quicker to appear at the start screen. Go ahead and log in. Oops. From a lot of the tests that I've done, the 3GS seems to be quicker booting and shutting down. However, launching applications, the 4 seems to be a bit quicker. Go ahead and launch settings here. I mean, that's pretty standard. And it may have even started with the OS. That was fairly close. Back home, about calendar. And as you can still see, the 3GS is a little bit ahead here. How about iBooks? Alright, so it looks like he's got the sample book in here. I don't, because I just downloaded that. Really though, when you're in an application, the iPhone 4 is much quicker. I think it's just got better threading techniques. I don't know, that's what I read somewhere. Signal, we're having problems with the signal, at least I am, and many others are on the 4. When you hold it around here, like you would in a phone call, you go all the way down to no service. You put it down on a desk, you're doing fine. You don't have that over here with the 3GS. I do expect this to be fixed either with a case, which is pretty cheap, or Apple should release a firmware update hopefully in the next couple of days, or well, hopefully in the next couple of hours, that will fix that. We'll turn these devices over and look at the back. I have not seen any scratch tests of the back of the 4, but I would guess that it's significantly better than the back of the 3GS. I know it's much thinner and the camera is much better. You also have LED flash. A button tour, they're essentially the same. You have your, I think that's just your mute button up here, then your volume toggle. Your buttons are a little bit different. I think they're easier to use on the iPhone 4. The bottom, you have your microphone, your speaker, and your 30-pin connector. There's nothing on the left, except the 4 has the SIM removal tray. On the top, the 3GS has the SIM removal tray. I think the microphone's on the top there, as well as the headphone ports and the hold lock buttons. And another thing to note about the iPhone 4, it has N wireless in 2.4 gigahertz frequency, and it has 2 microphones, one of which for noise cancellation if you're out on the street or something. iOS 4 runs great on both. They're both pretty quick. At this point, however, due to the better case and better, at least on paper, specifications, I would definitely recommend the iPhone 4 over the 3GS. If you think I missed anything, actually I just did. Battery life. Battery life is supposed to be better in the iPhone 4. I never had a 3GS. This is not mine, so I can't say that it is or isn't. And I've only had the thing a day, so I'm very happy with it. I definitely recommend the iPhone 4. I think any problems with reception is easily corrected short-term with a case, and will, I'm very sure, long-term be corrected by a firmware update. So thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe if you like the content. My Twitter is twitter.com/JamesRSchultz. The website is techinform.us. And every Tuesday night between 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we host our live web shows on ustream.tv/techinformus. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. As I promised, we'd get down here and see that the 3GS is just a little bit thicker due to the bezel there. I put my hand behind it. Maybe you can see that a little bit easier. Definitely not a fat device, but it just feels clunky, a little fat, and actually kind of flimsy when holding the iPhone 4 next to it. One other important thing I unfortunately forgot to mention, but I will now, is the new Retina display on the iPhone 4. When using the iPhone 4, I had a 3rd generation touch before this, so I can definitely feel that the screen is 100% crystal clear. If I were to open up Mail here on the 3GS and go and read something here from Oakley, versus my Mail account and read something from YouTube, I can see the individual pixels. Now this camera is not good at all and will not focus up close, but reading the iPhone 4 screen for a little bit and then going back to a iPod Touch of any generation right now, and or a older iPhone as in not the 4, you can definitely see the pixels, and it just looks bad when you get used to the iPhone 4. Alright, recording here, the iPhone 4 on the right, the 3GS on the left. We'll come up, try to do some up-close focusing here. This is obviously the rear-facing camera. It's a Porsche poster I happen to have. Both are good for cell phone cameras, but you can definitely feel that the iPhone 4's camera is better.